share your thoughts with us. Please, would you like to start, Mrs. Prime Minister?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. First, thank you for having me. And it is true that we have very deep ties with Sweden. We have been part of Swedish Kingdom, and those times have been referred to as the good old Swedish times. But it might be because the comparison with the Russian occupation was to your benefit. But anyway, this is true that we live at the moment where the aggression has come right to the EU's borders, and the warning signs were long there. Yet it still caught many by surprise. What we are witnessing now is not only a personal war by Putin, but an aggression that is much more deeply rooted than in Russian attitudes to geography, but also to history. When the Soviet Union collapsed, then the imperialistic dream of Russia never did. And the Russian imperialism never did. While the Nazi crimes have been widely condemned in the world, communist crimes never were. And these mass crimes of Russia, repressions by the Soviet regime, were never investigated, condemned, and regretted in Russia. So in Estonia, all the school books were rewritten to reflect the history as it actually was. But it was not done in Russia. And the Soviet war criminals were tried in Estonia, for example, but they were never tried in Russia. And instead, Putin has built this strong revival of Stalinism, I mean support for Stalin. So 70% of Russian people support Stalinism. If people admire dictators, there is no obstacle of becoming one or submitting to one. So what will stop this aggression? Can the free world really step against it? This is the question that I am often asked. Just a few comments on this. As it's widely clear now, Russia is the most direct threat to the world order as we know. Its goals and ambitions have not changed over the times because the aggression has never been pushed back or punished for that matter. We need to focus on pushing back the aggressor and drying up the war machine. We need also to make a leap in our own defense, and I'm glad to see that Sweden is making huge step in this regard. What Ukraine needs right now is the arms to fight back the tyranny and fight back the aggressor. So we have to do everything to help Ukraine win. Military aid is the best humanitarian aid we can give to Ukraine today. And these were the words of Ukrainian parliamentarians when we met just a few weeks ago. Another question that is often asked, what is victory really? So I think it's very important that it's solely up to Ukrainians to define. We must help Ukraine to get best positions to negotiate with Russia. But here I'm really worried about the premature calls for ceasefire and peace. No sign is there that Russia has changed its aim or calculus in this matter. So I'm asking, what is that if we make Russia sit at the negotiation table, and are they really in good faith? And I don't think they are, because the negotiation tactics that they have had long already from the Soviet times is that ask something that has never been yours and do not give 1 inch in negotiations. And if you go back to the Security Council meeting that Putin had, then there Dmitry Medvedev said that, by no time all these people in the West will be back asking us to be back at the table, and everything is forgotten. So we must avoid a bad peace. A badly negotiated peace for Ukraine would mean a bad peace for us all. And what does it really mean? It means that the aggression pays off. You have still gained some territories, and then you go to business as usual, and then there is a pause of 1 year, 2 years, and everything will continue. So this is very important that we equip Ukraine so that it can negotiate with Russia from the position of strength. And we must make sure also that economic concerns will not lead to appeasing the aggressor. Clearly, the sanctions are hurting us as well, but it is the resilience of the society shown how much pain you can really endure, and this is. I think it's much more dangerous giving in to Putin than to really provoking him, if that could be considered provoking. So all these seemingly small concessions to the aggressor lead to big wars. We have seen, we have done this mistake already 3 times. Georgia, Crimea and Donbas, thinking that, okay, now there's peace, everybody stays where they are, and Russia has gained some territory, so let them not move on. But there is a pause, and then everything will continue. Yes. And finally, I think there should... Sorry. Sorry. We should not return to business as usual with war criminals. I mean, I've been saying that why everybody wants to talk to Putin. If you look at the international law and the definition of genocide in the international law, then it says that genocide is your will to basically wipe off a nation or part of the nation and act accordingly. This is what we see happening in Ukraine. Putin has not anyway hidden the obstacles that they have. So this is clearly the case. So if we go back to business as usual, Putin is counting on this. This is the way they operate. If we give this in, then we are definitely weak. And the unity of the free world is a key to really stand up against the aggression next door. So, I mean, the biggest question to us all is how can we really sustain this? We already see the cracks in the unity when it comes to, the sanctions. When it gets harder, then it's also harder to keep the unity, but we have to strive for this. And it has been a negative surprise to Putin because he doesn't believe in multilateralism. And so far, we have managed to keep this. So sorry to be being a bit long.
Thank you very much, Ms. Prime Minister. Then I would like to